Welcome back, Soulful Sunrises, to this Friday, June 5th, 2026. Fahima, you're out of control this morning with this Prince versus Michael Jackson. I see all the comments. Good morning, Eric, Fitman, and Brad. I'm going to give you your proper intro. But Fahim, Miss Phyllis, talking about Prince is a firecracker, Michael Jackson is the bomb. Other than Let's Go Crazy Kiss, okay, you are not a Prince fan, and we're just going to just establish that. If you were a Prince fan, you would have mentioned Darling Nikki, 1999, Little Red Corvette, Erotic City, If I Was Your Man. Let me see, what am I missing? Controversy. You are not a Prince fan. You are just a drive-by fan, and we're going to keep it right there. The words of the day, Eric Fitman Brown, are prevention, refresh, perseverance, celebrate, dedicated, confidence, and reciprocity. What is your word of the day?
Well, first, good morning, Karen. Okay,
I'm fired up.
How about we start there?
Prince versus Michael Jackson. What you say? What you say, Fitman? Prince versus Michael Jackson. Who you got?
Listen, these are both legendary figures in the music game, in the pop game, everything. For me personally, I'm gonna have to go with the king of pop.
All right, this commercial done. Let go. Interview done. You say you're gonna go with MJ?
I gotta go with Mike.
I gotta go with MJ too. Can we celebrate them both?
I think we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
let's celebrate them.
These are both legendary figures.
Yeah. I mean, they were on people's walls. It's so unfortunate as we talk about this topic about, Black men's health, why so many wait until too late. Both of them, neither are here today. And they were a big part of our childhood. And that's really what we're here to talk about today. So what is your word of the day, firstly? And good morning to you.
My word of the day is prioritize.
Prioritize. And, is it okay if I share with the Soulful Sunrisers some amazing news that you have? I mean, it's all on social media. Is it okay?
I think it's fair.
Okay, Fahim, I'm going to need congratulations, something, bells and whistles, but Soulful Sunrisers, our resident expert once a month and his beautiful wife, Shakina B, are having a baby. A baby. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Eric Fitman Brown's about to be a big papa.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Is this your first baby?
This is our first.
Congratulations. All right.
This is the greatest blessing of our lives. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. And enjoy every moment, because when I tell you, this goes fast. There are stages, it goes fast, but every stage is amazing. And every stage requires a different or more village. Every stage. So take it all in. Bask in it, bask in one another, but this is a gift and cherish it as such.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. So today's topic with, our guy who is an entrepreneur, a fitness professional, a wellness advocate, a motivator, a community leader, a barber, a sprinter, a this, a that, and about to be a dad, is Black men's health. Why so many wait until it's too late? Now, you've dedicated your work to going, doing a deep dive, working with clients and supporting them and finding out how to make them understand that now means now and baby steps means baby steps. So when you and I were talking, going back and forth, what should we talk about this week? And I was like, I want to include men's health, something about men's health. And you said, this is the topic. Why was this topic important for you, for us to explore this Friday?
Well, I'm around a lot of good brothers on a daily basis, and I hear about the health issues. I see the health issues, and with Father's Day right around the corner, this is an ideal time to talk about this, because for a lot of brothers out here, we don't do what we need to do in terms of taking care of our health. A lot of guys, it's the ego, it's the pride. I'm gonna be all right. I don't need to go see the doctor. I don't need to go see the dentist. But that's not how you prioritize your health at all.
Yeah, Fahim says men are taught from kids to walk it off. No pain, no gain. Rub some dirt on it. So subconsciously we don't see pain or discomfort as an issue until something is really wrong. And that right there, I was reading something about the finals, the NBA finals, and you talk about masculinity, perceived masculinity on display. And Victor Wembanyama, I always say is Wemby, I always mess up his name, but he showed emotions, and some of the pundits and sportscasters said he was soft for displaying emotion. This is before they got to the finals when they won their conference. Oh my God, he's so soft. He's crying. He's putting, why is he showing so many emotions? And that's the problem with masculinity. Men are not allowed to feel and display their feelings. Yet, to Fahim's point, when something is bothering them, they keep it inside. So how do we overcome this? You as a professional, a trainer, a wellness advocate, a community leader, what are your tips to the men listening, but also to the women listening for their men?
Well, to the men listening, listen, it's okay to talk about issues and problems. Like, you're not seen as less of a man because you say, I'm going to the doctor, or I'm going to the dentist, or I'm going to put an emphasis on my health. Because here's the other part too. If you as a man is so worried about providing and taking care of your family, guess what? If you are not here to do these things, then you can't take care of your family. You can't take care of friends and be there in your own community. So when you have issues, when that check engine light is on, and even before you get to that point, you've got to start to take some preventive measures to prioritize your health. And to touch on that thing that you just said with Wemby is how old? I mean, he's in his early 20s.
He's 21.
So he's 21. So you reach the pinnacle of your profession and you're supposed to stand there like nothing happened.
Yeah.
He's a 21-year-old kid. Let him have his moment.
Yeah. I agree with you. And so we don't want for the check engine light to even come on. So what are some of the signals that working with clients? I know that you are not a doctor. I know that at all. But you have a history of working with people, and I know that there is a blueprint. There's certain things that you may see, telltale signs. I know a friend of mine this week a male friend was talking about he was experiencing fatigue, and it's been for 3 months. And I'm like, you need to go to the doctor. 3 months is something that I would raise a flag on. So what are some of the signs before the check engine light comes on, that our body is sending us to the males and to all of us that we should heed?
Well, some of the physical signs that I can see when a new client comes in for a consultation, I'm looking at their strength levels. I'm looking at their conditioning levels. I'm looking at their body fat levels, because a lot of folks think, well, it's just the overweight people, but it's not, because I train people who are actually within a healthy weight range, but their ratio of muscle to fat is a majority of body fat. So we have these physical symptoms. I talked about conditioning. When we're going through an assessment and we're doing easy exercises, and I'm seeing the huffing and I'm seeing the puffing, and these are some of the signs where it's like we're trending in the wrong direction.
What would you say to the client, the man who says, I feel fine, so I don't need to see a doctor? Because we hear that a lot. I feel fine, I don't need to see a doctor. How do you counter that with love?
Well,
there is no love. Is that what you're going to say? I felt like you were going to say, there is no love. Get to it.
No, it's more of tough love. I will walk them to the door of my facility and say, listen, you've got to leave that ego at the door. And that's one of the big issues, the ego and the pride. You're not okay. It's okay to say that you're not okay. That's where most of us start when it comes to training, when it comes to health. We're not okay. We have a deficit somewhere. But if you don't admit you have a problem, I got news for you. There's not going to be a way to actually solve the problem.
Yeah. Ms. Phyllis says men are told if they cry, they're weak, but I think crying, letting go of their problems makes them stronger for the next battle. This is why it's proven men have a woman in their lives live longer. I think that's true. Do you agree with that? Like, if you have a companion, a good companion, now, you don't want to have a stressed woman, but if you have, or a stressed companion, but if you have a good person, a companion in your life, it does make that ride easier for you. It
Abs-
really, really does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially our males, right? Because they hold a lot in. Nutrition plays a part of this also because I'm certain that you see folks, you just said it. I know a lot of people who on paper look like they're in shape and they can run a marathon and they can do this, they could climb. I remember a long time ago, a friend and I was couples night and we all went, what do you call it when you go up? Is it like rock climbing? You go up the wall, you
Indoor
rock
rock
climb.
climbing. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was my ex-husband and I and another couple. And it was, us against each other, the other couple. And I made it up I scaled that wall first. And the woman that one of my friends who was in like looked like she was in better shape, probably had less body fat. She was struggling because her upper body was not as strong. And she was like, well, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? So sometimes we look at the package and we misjudge the package. So for those who look really healthy on paper, but don't have the stamina to do that, not eating well, what are some of the things that they can start to eat, right? Because fitness and nutrition, you always say they go hand in hand, right?
They absolutely go hand in hand. And one thing that I see often is that we spend a lot of time in that drive-through, Karen.
Mm,
So when the intake,
and that's not the movies, not the drive-through movies.
no, this ain't the drive-in film. We spend a lot of time in that drive-through. I mean, I drive through Philly. I drive through the Philly suburbs, and I see it on a daily basis. So when the fuel that's coming in is lousy fuel, that impacts you. And what happens over time? So maybe one terrible drive-through meal don't get you, but now when you've been having them for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years, and now your numbers are out of whack and your body's out of whack. Now, this is when the issues really start.
Do you take a person's blood pressure when they come through the door? I ask that question because my dentist, one of the things she does is when we go to get at the cleaning, the 6-month cleaning, she takes your blood pressure just to see where you are that day, that moment before you get a cleaning, before the hygienists come in. And I was like, I love that because that's also a good barometer for you to know where you are. Because and I asked her why. She said, it tells a lot about the health. And then when they look at the teeth, it's telling another story. So when your clients come in, do you take their blood pressure or do you have a apparatus to do that?
So, you know me, I'm not going to do something unless I'm very well versed in it. I don't want to have something there and I'm just talking a whole bunch of hype. But I will ask them, what's your blood pressure, what's going on under the hood, so that you can start to find out certain things, because I'm glad you brought that up. That's another silent killer in our community, hypertension. A lot of folks, when you don't go to the doctor, you don't know your blood pressure at all. They do sell blood pressure cuffs that are available that are not expensive. That probably cost less than that drive-through meal
or a matcha
that a lot of people are buying.
Yeah.
So how come we can't order a blood pressure cuff and check our blood pressure periodically throughout the year so that we don't get to the doctor and now all of a sudden it's skyrocketing?
And like you said, the check engine light comes on before we go to commercial. All these things are indicators, but they're controllable. They're controllable. And that's what you want us to understand, and our males in our lives to understand. It's controllable. Sir Sanders Bailey, I can't, I have to go to break. When we come back, it goes so fast. This is Soulful Sunrise on Progressive Black Talk Media. Our guest today is Fitman, Eric Fitman Brown, Fitman Fade Man. We're talking about men, we love you. For our brothers, don't wait for the check engine light to come on. We'll be right back with more comments, more messages, a lot to go through the chat. So stay where you are and keep on flooding it. We'll be back after these messages on Progressive Black Talk Media. Welcome back, Soulful Sunrises. It's such a beautifully sunny day. It is amazing on this Friday, June 5th, 2026. Pinch yourself, it's already June 5th. Our guest today is Eric Fitman, Fade Man Brown. I know so many names, right? But remember, Fitman times Fade Man. That's all you need to remember. Entrepreneur, master sprinter, trainer, wellness advocate, community leader, husband, about to be a dad. So many amazing things happening in his life. And we salute him. He's going to talk about the Wellness Festival coming up. I have some rapid fire questions for you, and then I'll give you the space so we could play a little bit of Prince. Here's what we have in the chat. Sir Sanders Bailey says, I have 5 sons, an ex-military hubby, but my sons were taught to be able to come to us, never be ashamed, to show feelings, let it out. Hubby has prostate cancer, but doing well, though. We keep him in prayer. It was hard for him at first, but his doctors and treatment has been great. I love this show. It helps me and helps me de-stress. Miss Claire says sometimes the women really don't look out for their partners. Prevention is way better than cure. Use all the preventive measures, get necessary checkups. And Miss Phyllis says, I went for a checkup. My doctor checks my blood pressure, gets a reading, wait a few minutes, and then checks again because rushing excitement. Yeah, the white coat syndrome is really real, especially in our community. And then Miss Claire says, you can get a BP kit and do it yourself. I've been doing mine now. Yeah, you have to. The whole thing is know your body, right? Know your body. And I also want to share, Fahim put this in, sent me a message, and I knew about this, but it's never my business to share. He says to share it, so let me share it to you for you. He says that he had been feeling off for a couple of months, but ignored it. Once he finally told his partner, Amber, how he was feeling, she insisted that he go to the doctor. And that's how he found out that he had an autoimmune disease attacking his body. And he was able to pivot and still pivoting, changing his fitness routine, eating better, and so forth. But he said he just assumed that he was just out of breath, out of shape, and that was it. It turned out his lungs had inflammation around them. So, having a good partner, yes, but once again, the check engine light had been showing up and we have to pay attention. So some rapid fire questions of Eric Fitman, Fade Man, so that you could talk about your stuff. One health habit every Black man should start today. One health habit.
Start to train.
Start to train. What does that look like?
Start to train with weights. Being strong, building muscle, building your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, and strength training also builds your heart. Very important for a man.
Most underrated wellness practice.
Great nutrition and tracking your nutrition.
I thought you was going to say sleep and water.
I mean, look, I could go a whole bunch of different ways with this.
But that's your number one, first top of the brain, right?
Yeah, yes,
nutrition.
Yeah.
Best fitness advice that you received from someone else.
Focus on progression over time.
And finish this sentence. Your health is
your wealth. And it is the wealth that has much more value than money, than jewels and things. Because if you don't have your health, then we don't have anything.
So true, so true. Miss Phyllis says, great way to teach your sons, praying your husband gets better. Yes, that's for Sir Sanders Billy. So you also want to talk about June 20th, the Wellness Festival that your wife Shakina B is putting together. So please, and you're a part of it, you're doing fitness pop-ups and stations. Please talk about that and any other closing that you want to say so I could get my man Prince on this show. Go ahead.
So my wife's event, this is the biggest wellness event in Philadelphia, by the way. June 20th, the Juneteenth Wellness and Arts Festival. I will be down there. I was down there last year and it was excellent. A lot of the community came out and we did a lot of fitness challenges. We talked about nutrition. We talked about sleep. We just talked about overall health. We had a lot of physical stations. We did burpees. We did push-ups. We did squats. We did all these things to kind of see where people are, kind of like mini assessments. So I would love for Philadelphia, the Black men of Philadelphia, the Black women of Philadelphia, all the people of Philadelphia to come down on June 20th and find out exactly where you are physically.
And where can they find this information?
So if you all go to shekinahb.org,
You're gonna have to spell that one.
she said you gotta spell that one. shekinahb.org, and click on her events calendar, and you'll see all the information for the Juneteenth Wellness and Arts Festival for 2026.
And seriously, do you want to spell it?
She said you all got to spell it. So SHEKHINAHB.org.
There you go. There you go. And so that is June 20th, the Wellness Festival. That's happening in Philadelphia?
At Cherry Street Pier, yes. In
Cherry
Philadelphia.
Street Pier. Okay. Yes. Sir Sanders Bailey says, Karen, can you ask Fitman how to tighten up your skin after weight loss and beat weight for women starting? Okay, so Fitman, our dear Sir Sanders Bailey wants to know how to tighten up the skin after weight loss, and best weight for women starting out. Where should we start at? I know what you're going to say for that answer.
So when it comes to tightening skin is not something that you can directly impact with just training. Okay. I've had clients who have had amazing weight loss journeys, and when they have lost the weight, sometimes at the end, they do have loose skin. So that may be something that may be more of a cosmetic procedure outside of the gym, but you won't know until you get as lean as you want to get. Now, starting weight is a very individual thing, because some people can come in and do 20 pounds on exercise, and some people can only do 5. So you have to start where you can start, and don't start where somebody else is starting, okay? Because you don't want to get injured on day one.
Love that. Where you are is where you are. Just start. That's the one thing. And you will be surprised how you begin to get stronger just by starting, because you will know when it's time to move on to the next level, because you won't feel anything. You'll be like, I could chew gum and do push-ups at the same time. So that means go to the next level. Yeah. What is the one thing you want us to know today in 30 seconds?
I want my brothers to begin to prioritize their health, and don't let this thing wait until it's the fourth quarter and you're down by 20 points. And now all of a sudden you want to try to make a comeback. Could you make a comeback? Yes, but why even put yourself in that type of position?
Well, I see what you did there with that basketball analogy. Did you have all 5 starters with you with that? Because you need a tribe, right? Who are you rooting for, Knicks or Spurs?
I mean, Karen. I mean, I heard you start off this show talking this Knicks stuff. And look, I'm very happy for the Villanova product, Jalen Brunson.
That's right, because they from Pennsylvania.
And John Carr. But I can't sit here as a Philadelphia fan.
Enough of this.
And cheer for anyone in this NBA Finals. Good luck to both teams, but I have no rooting interest at all.
Oh, well, we're going to say happy Father's Day. We're going to say happy everything to you, because we're going to play a little bit of Prince to all those out there. The great Purple Rain's birthday, Your Highness, is this weekend. Here we go. Adore. Take that. Fit man times fade man. I think laughter is part of wellness for our men, because a lot of them are so serious, right?
And I mean, look, there's a time to be serious, right? But there's also a time to laugh and not take things not take yourself so serious.
Yeah, I agree.
To where it's just there's no laughter and there's no joy.
Well, I do know that you would tell us walk, drink more water, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep if you can, schedule your wellness appointment, and check in with your loved ones, and that health is wealth. I know that's what you would tell us. I wish you the best Father's Day to be this June coming up in a week or so. And this is amazing news. We're on this journey with you, and congratulations to you and Shekinah B. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Soulful Sunrises till we meet again. Have an amazing weekend. Go out there, Prince fans. Go out there, Knicks fans.
Here you go.
Philadelphia. Philadelphia, you'll have a chance soon.
Ooh.
Peace and love.
Okay.
Take care.
When I wake up in the morning, love.